Welcome to the Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
Hey, everybody. Man, I'm super excited for this weird team up of subjects today. Tonight, we are talking about Hixploitation films and Disney news.
Yes.
So, first off, hey, listener, Savannah says I'm hungry.
I'm hungry for the heap and helping of It's All Pizza we're gonna deliver. Hey, that's a callback from back when we had a normal show
with like a letter stuff and numbered things. And hey, ignore that comment. Too late.
Oh no, we made it part of the show.
And when we used to talk about comic books, hey, speaking of, what did okay, it's a little early, so maybe I should wait. But I was going to say, what did people think of our episode last week with Robert Geronimo? How'd you guys feel about that kind of it was kind of an interview, but like guest interview format. My goal, my hope with it was to kind of, I in retrospect, I feel a little bit bad about pushing the slasher theme so hard on him. But my hope was to like more organically integrate the guest into the episode format and theme.
I like that kind of thing. I mean, granted, we're creeping back towards our old day. Like, you want to talk about old days? We're creeping back to those like 2 to 3 hour long episodes, and so like our guests don't necessarily know that. They don't know how we roll.
I give him a warning.
We can talk.
I give him a warning.
You did give him a warning, so fair enough.
Well, yeah, all the topics were definitely in Paul's wheelhouse, and I believe Paul talked to him afterwards too. Oh, he loved the slasher theme. Okay, good.
He was cool. I liked him. It was a great addition, I thought.
Oh, yeah. He was very laid back. I'm glad he was so comfortable on the stream. It was very good. Let's see. Well, the topic today, I already mentioned it, but we're talking about Hixploitation. This is inspired. Hey, Eddie, what's going on?
Whoa, Eddie's here for Hixploitation. Well, this will be right up his alley.
Yeah,
that might be an insult.
No, he does the voice of a cowboy on another podcast. So there we go.
So Hixploitation was inspired by last week's conversation. Eddie says, "Yeehaw!" Before we get too far into it, and again, I know I keep saying it every week. The episodes are slowly getting shorter and shorter a little bit. Last week was only an hour and 47 minutes as opposed to a solid 2 hours. So getting better.
There we go.
Our guest 13 minutes of slack.
Right. Rome wasn't built in a day. It was built in 3 hours. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Do we want to? Okay, so do we want to talk a little bit about what we've been watching lately?
No.
I'm getting
Melanie's
like, no, that ruins it. That's how we get 3 hour long episodes. That's why no one likes us.
No, I mean, sure, go ahead.
Okay, Eddie says, "Gosh darn you guys, you can't exploit the villain," I says. And Paul says, yes, his chat with Robert Geronimo airs on the 20th.
Man, look at that.
I'm assuming
he's already got one in the can.
Paul, is that going to Monster Mash or Bullspit? I'm assuming Monster Mash because he does a lot of horror themed stuff. But Jesse, have you been watching anything interesting lately?
Well, real quick, before we leave Geronimo behind.
Right.
Kickstarter. Is it still going?
Actually, I believe it would have ended. Oh no, it'll be going for another couple days. Hold on, let me double check this.
Okay.
Good question.
Just for our live listeners that maybe missed it, it was a great episode. He's involved in a super project and product. Find out more by watching last week's live stream or the episode, which is on the podcast feed now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested, you should check it out and hit it up while it's still going, because he's got all sorts of
It's an Indiegogo campaign, and there are 2 days left on his Wirehead project. And yeah, like Jesse said, check out last week's episode. It's on the podcast feed, or if you go to grawlixpodcast.com, it's the most recent episode. I think it's called Slashers and Robots with Robert Geronimo or something.
Sounds like the perfect title.
But, before he was even on, it was already fully funded. So they're just doing the stretch goal thing. But yeah,
which means you're going to get your stuff.
Right. So they're at 112% of the $8,000 goal. So that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Can I real quick tell a little funny story?
Yeah.
So originally Randy was telling me about this before he did the episode. And he was talking about the guy. And I was like, yeah, I remember that guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he was talking. And I kind of like went off somewhere. I wasn't entirely there. And then I heard him talk about stretch goals. And I'm like, wait, did we switch into exercise or something? And so I had like snapped me back to the conversation. And I had to actually pay attention again. So
I got stretch goals. I'm hoping for splits by 2022.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, Robert was a great guest. So that was a good conversation.
You should check it out.
Yeah. All right. Jesse, what have you been watching?
Well, since Melanie's so excited to do this segment, I thought we should talk about season 3 of season 4 of The Crown.
Oh.
No, we don't have to talk about it, but it's great. It's great. I'm a couple episodes deep now.
Yeah, I have not jumped on it yet. Melanie actually does have some things to say because she's had some interaction with its fans, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Well, the only thing is people were complaining about the characters, and I was like, the characters are the same characters they've always been. You mean the actors, maybe, or maybe the writing, because the characters are the same characters.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Are they mad about the recasts as they get older?
I don't know. They just said they don't like them anymore. Like, I don't like the Queen this season. And I'm like,
I thought they did a great job. I thought it was pretty seamless, and you're right. They're the same.
Yeah, and they don't have any emotions anyway. They're all robots.
And it's compelling. Somehow that makes great television.
I have not actually watched any of The Crown, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just, I'm giving you my
crazy, like the ones that are just like raging, awful jerks happen to have like the most empathy at certain points, and then the other ones where you're like, like I'm on board. They'll do like horrible things, and then you'll be like, God, the royalty are monsters. I don't know. So, and you're really seeing it in this season because, spoilers, it's all about Diana now. So you're really getting to see it now.
So I can't say for sure because I have not started this season yet, which is what Melanie's friends were talking about, I think. But I mean, with the changeover in actors, the characters do feel slightly different. I feel like they're definitely approached differently a little bit. The whole first 2 seasons, they were kind of leading to the Queen just being a little bit more cold. But then once we hit the 3rd season and it switches over to the greatest actress of all time. I don't know why I dubbed her that just now, but I like her.
She's great. She's wonderful.
Right. And but she plays the Queen very cold, almost robotic. Like I remember an episode where like the whole kind of point of the episode is that she does not have emotions, normal emotions for people.
Oh my God.
And she's like, is this weird? So I can kind of see their point.
Yeah.
Paul says royalty checks their emotions at the door, or you get Game of Thrones.
It kind of feels like it feels like Game of Thrones without any of the dragons or anything. So like all the really super interesting stuff. No, none of that. Just the talking.
I am interested to check out this new season though, because you said it's all about Diana. Like, yeah, there's a whole new generation of characters.
Yeah,
that weren't in the previous. They were just, if anything, kids.
Right.
Some of the characters. So, yeah, I'm interested. Anything else?
I keep dragging him off to other stuff. Like
that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, The Crown. I think I had you watch an episode or something. The Crown, I don't think is a show you're going to get into. So
no,
that's
you tried to get me to watch an episode, and I refused.
Right. Was anything else, Jesse, that you've been watching?
No,
lately?
no. I just thought I'd throw it to the crowd.
Melanie and I finished. I don't remember if we've talked about this. We finished. I know we talked about it at least once, and I was unsure about the show. We have since finished the one season of. Melanie always calls it Dances with Wolves. Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it was pretty good. It's weird. It's not necessarily a 5 stars, but it turned out to be a really good show, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty like Lovecraft Country. I was very standoffish at first because I'm like, I don't understand this show. What's it doing and where's it going? But then towards the later half of the season, I'm like, I'm in. I don't want this to end. So,
It can't. I won't let it. I will. But I have to know. I have to have answers. I have to have some answers to at least a couple questions.
In which show?
In Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves. It's super interesting because I really like the theme, and it plays heavily on the whole like artificial intelligence, AI, Android thing. At what point are they just following programming, and at what point do they actually have emotions and stuff? Mm-hmm. And the show really, to me, the two most compelling characters are the 2 androids, like over all the humans. Like the humans are like, meh, they're okay. They're okay to just crazy. The androids, also crazy, are the most fascinating to me. Yeah. And like one of the androids is, I feel, the most likable character in the whole show. Mm-hmm. It is super strange. Like, it's weird. It gets just weirder as it goes. It's off the rails.
It is off the rails, but I love the way it does stuff. Like, okay, there's a bit where one of the androids is talking about their creator, because I don't know if it's because of a war against like the believers and the atheists. And then there's a part where she keeps talking about the creator wanted us to do this, and this was our mission from the creator, and blah, 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 blah. And the other android is like, kind of starting to sound like one of them, you know? How do you know what the creator wanted? You know?
Right. Stuff
like that. And I find that kind of stuff fascinating too. Like a lot of the themes that it uses with the robots, it also kind of uses with the religion, and I like all that.
Yeah, and I feel like it with the people, the themes, some of the themes, it's very on the like on its sleeve, on the nose. It's like it was a war between the believers and the atheists and this and that. And then with the robots, it's interesting to see not necessarily subtle, but a more organic evolution of how that plays out with these characters that, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's good. I liked it. Mm-hmm. It strikes me as the type of show I think it might. I'm not sure if it's getting a second season yet or not. It definitely left it open for a second season in a little bit of a ham-fisted way, I felt, where it's like, oh, that's a nice wrap up. Oh, nope, they undid it. They're hoping for another season. So, which I'm down for.
With nice wrap up. You're crazy. There were so many unanswered questions in that thing. You're crazy.
Okay. No, you're right. You're right. Oh yeah, you're right. I take that back. I don't know what I was thinking, because there's like there's this whole like entity that's never explained. Okay.
Yes.
But it feels like the kind of show that will only get one season, just because I don't hear anyone talk about it. I've heard of it nowhere other than seeing it on HBO Max and us watching it. Like, I don't hear about the show anymore.
There's a bunch of shows on Netflix that are like that too. That like, there was the one that was like a British Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but much more raw. I don't remember which one that was. Like
Demon Head. Yeah.
That was good.
That was really good, and it was like, yep, nope, that's all you get.
One season. I know. Super disappointing. And that I remember looking into, and I think that was a result of like, nobody's talking about it. Didn't get watched much. It's like,
yeah.
but it was good. We talked about it because it was like British Buffy.
Yeah.
Right.
British Buffy with an R rating. It was good.
And we real quick went through the Rick and Morty 4th season.
Because
it used to be great.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of that? It went to weird places.
It did.
I mean, it's Rick and Morty, so of course it did, but it got real weird, especially once the pandemic hit, and it's like, whoa.
I don't know how old the 4th season is, but yeah, I think like we just noticed it was finally up on HBO Max, maybe, or Hulu. I don't remember where we watched it. I loved it.
Basically, after the dragon episode is where the pandemic episodes came in.
Okay.
I think there was one more episode after the dragon episode, and then they took an extended break, and then because they even reference it.
It seems like there was a pretty good gap between after season 3 on the streaming apps before season 4 trickled out to it. I could be wrong, but I don't know that it has as many it doesn't have as many iconic moments. Of course, like if they try to, I feel like the difficulty with a Rick and Morty type show is how popular it got, and then trying to live up to well, we got to do a pickle Rick. We got to do this. We
got to do a Szechuan sauce kind of thing. Like, no, you're not going to replicate that.
That could I feel like that pressure, and I don't know how the creators are handling it, could ruin a show, but I don't feel like that's the case. So, but I was going to say there's not as many of those iconic Rick and Morty type moments, but I feel like I enjoyed this season more than any other season.
I loved how they played with time travel, because they were pretty adamant that they were never going to do time travel, and then they had this stupid episode about snakes.
Right.
So great too. It's like snake terminators on a planet of sentient snakes.
It's so meta.
And there was that other one too that was totally time travel. He's like, these are all your possible selves that you.
Where he could save states with the save states.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In the live life, and then. Oh yeah, that was I feel like that was one of the best episodes.
That one was good. Super dark too, though.
Yeah.
Right. I know there's
one I think the most though.
What?
The story train or whatever the heck that thing was.
Oh, the meta one. That was all about being meta. That
one
was pretty great.
Okay. I think we really got to get moving on.
Yeah. See,
that's fair.
No. Didn't I say? I told you no.
Yep.
No. You should have said why you said no, because we just assumed you're going to shoot everything down and we're going to roll forward with it unless you have a good reason.
No, yeah, it's fine. I'll cut my next segment super short. So.
All right. So I do want to point out Eddie's comment.
Yes, this is a pretty good hierarchy, a flow chart, if you will.
So we're going to segue into our Hixploitation discussion, and Eddie had a good comment. Here's the breakdown of Hick royalty: Hayseed, Redneck, Hillbilly, Bumpkin, Swamp Billy. So Swamp Billy would be like King Queen Hick royalty.
That makes sense, It's like the further you get into the swamp, the more, the
more banjo you hear.
Or the less banjo you hear, because they have less strings. Like the strings just keep breaking, and you can't get new strings in the middle of the swamp.
It's true.
Unless you're Kermit the Frog. That frog can make he just turns human innards into banjo strings, and away we go.
What was that? Okay, so human innards. What was that from? Is that a reference to something?
That's not from anything. I just made Kermit super creepy. That's all. Because what are we talking about?
That makes it more strange.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to start?
Rainbow Connection, dude. Come on. That's what that song was really about. Making banjo strings out of humans.
Wow, Jesse's on. Jesse, you're in a very
Jesse's on from Jesse.
Jesse's on from Jesse. That's what happens when you get up on that Jesse. Swamp Billies play washboards and jugs, Eddie says. Okay, who wants to go first?
Not me.
Okay.
Is that me? Or is that you?
It doesn't matter.
You go first, Randy.
Okay.
You never go first. It's your turn.
I don't? Okay. I felt like I kept pushing it towards you guys because I was going first a lot. I watched for our Hixploitation film, which, by the way, if you search Hixploit, like, it's not limited to horror movies. In fact, most of what will pop up are more like just kind of sleazy grindhouse movies from the 70s. Because that's when Hixploitation, that's when all the exploitation things became a thing. But I was looking through some of those movies. I'm like, I don't want to watch any of this stuff. I did find a horror movie, a Hixploitation horror movie. Paul says Deliverance is the ultimate Hixploitation film. Yeah, so to kind of explain, I mean, that Deliverance, that puts it out there. Wrong Turn is mentioned a lot. I
mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of got us here.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes, stuff like that. Backwoods, usually mutated either through generations of inbreeding or actual like mutations from, I don't remember which movie it was. Was it like Wrong Turn, where it's just like there's waste, nuclear, some type of trash waste or something nearby mutating? I don't know.
So are the Rob Zombie movies, are they considered Hixploitation then?
Where every character is kind of a backwoods type.
Yeah, but some of them are clowns.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially the, like, the Three from Hell, Devil's Rejects family.
Right.
Is very much, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I was like, I mean, it's so kind of bizarre in its own thing, but it is still very Hixploitation in my mind.
Definitely. But you know what, guys? You don't have to be in America to be a hick.
Mm-hmm.
I found a movie from 2015 called The title doesn't really do the quality of the movie justice. Killbillies.
Ooh.
That's the English title. The original language title is IDYLL, Idol. I don't know what it is. Paul says, okay, well, I'm not going to read it like Paul says. Tiny is like a kind of an inbred mutant thing in the Rob Zombie. I read it. The Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah.
Killbillies is a Slovenian movie. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure. In fact,
is that next to Kazakhstan?
Slovenia. It's where our dear leader's wife hails from, I guess. Oh. Dear leader.
Slovenia sounds like it should
be
a
couple more weeks, anyways.
Slovenia should be the end of some other country's name.
Right. Well, this was the country's first feature horror movie. The first one produced out of
really? That's crazy.
2015. So yeah, very interesting.
I feel like this is like there's other countries putting out horror movies, right? So it's like a Pinterest board. So he's like, oh yeah, so we should try it. Let's try this one. Nailed it.
All right, okay, so Killbillies 2015. Here's the overview according to the movie db.org. After a night of carousing. Ooh,
that never ends well.
Carousing.
I don't recommend it.
After a night of carousing, the amateur photo model Xena heads for a fashion shoot in the nature. In the nature. I think this overview is written by a natural Sylvanian.
Or a Killbilly.
Accompanied by the ambitious Mia, apathetic Drakica, I don't know how to say that name, and snobby photographer. Is that what on the idyllic location, a supposedly ordinary fashion shoot turns into a fierce fight for survival. I don't like that overview. It's not wrong. So basically, a couple models, a photographer, and their makeup lady go out to the side, to the mountains, and it's kind of interesting because there are a lot of shots where it's like, this is totally like, Dustin, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
Yeah. Hey,
so this is totally like, there's very beautiful shots of their mountains. It could almost be like travel brochure. Ignore the rest of the like 99% of this hillbilly murder movie. Mountains are beautiful.
Kazakhstan. This is just a tourist trap.
So, so yeah, they go out there and a couple of hillbillies approach them and kidnap them, and we're off. The story is very bare bones and very straightforward. It's what you might expect for the most part. I feel like there's a few twists, and like I said, the title of the movie, Killbillies, which is amazing, doesn't really do the quality of movie justice. It's actually pretty well made, and it could be way trashier. I think a thing with a lot, which when I was searching for a movie to watch, I started to worry. The Hixploitation genre, specifically of horror, well, not even just of horror, just of any of them, are typically really trashy. And I'm not just talking because it's got a bunch of hillbillies. I mean, like, just they're trashy movies, you know. There's only one way to get your nudity quota in, and that type of situation. And this didn't really hit on that stuff super hard. There is some gore, and it's legit. It is some solid horror movie gore. The direction is actually pretty good. It lingers on some shots and builds atmosphere almost too long, but definitely like way longer than you would expect. Like in 2015, a similar type movie made in America, it would pick that pace up. So I kind of appreciated that. Once you get into the later part of the movie and there's like a chase that just goes on and on for quite a long time, Cabin Fever comes to mind. One of the only, okay, Dustin says Cabin Fever comes to mind. One of the only films I've ever walked out on or out of. Interesting.
It was really gross.
I'm gonna guess, was it somewhere around the horrible like skin scene? You know, the shave. Was it shaving? I don't remember what was happening.
Yeah,
the leg shaving scene.
Cabin Fever. I remember being like super body horror gross to me.
Paul says it wasn't that bad. Yeah, but I mean,
are you serious?
The gore.
There was
like the gore is hardcore.
Was this in the torture porn kind of era? Like, was this right around the time that we were getting hostile?
It's Eli Roth before, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think before the finger love scene. I don't remember it that well. Before Hostel, so it was ramping into Hostel torture porn, and that's an area I was worried this Killbillies movie was going to go into, especially when like the hillbillies have these people abducted and they're in this like little room and they come in and they're like, which one you want to get? And the guy's like, whoa. Well, okay, I can't do their voices because again, this is Albanian. So like they didn't sound like hillbillies. They just talk in obviously a foreign language I don't recognize, but like they don't necessarily have a southern twang because it's not the same country. And that's kind of why Paul says it's hardcore. That's kind of why I wanted to do a foreign movie, just to get that. But they're still the main hillbilly, like they look very hillbillyish. They're disfigured, but from reading some of the other reviews, there's like kind of a surprising attention to detail paid to where the disfigurements are kind of realistic in like why they would look this way, as opposed to like they're just like mutated people. But he looks like a hillbilly, but he's wearing like lederhosen. So I'm like, is that what their hillbillies are like? It's just like some people in lederhosen got lost in the woods. It's just like, we're gonna live here now. But like they come in and they're like, which one do you want? Because there's 3 women and 1 guy, and the one guy's like, the old one, and there's a struggle, but they drag the older, she's not that old, but the older lady out. I'm like, oh no, this is probably gonna go in 2 very unpleasant ways. And it actually doesn't. And I want to say that the most interesting thing about this movie, and I'm gonna kind of spoil it. is the concept of, other than the fact that they are kind of terrible people, why they are kidnapping these people and what they do, because they don't necessarily torture this lady, or the other thing that was assumed, although there is an attempt at that later. They strap her onto this thing and then jack this huge needle into the back of her head, and it's like they're draining out spinal fluid or something, and then that goes into like a distillery.
Spinal tap?
That goes into like a distillery, and they mix it into their moonshine that they sell. And that's why I said this movie is all about the alcohol. The big villain of this movie is alcohol, but like they're distilling.
It's like
brain fluid or something.
An adrenochrome shot in your
right. No, yeah, it's something like that. But I was like, oh. And it was, unpleasant, but it was not torture porn territory. So I was like,
we're going to give you brain cells and then kill brain cells with our alcohol.
So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, at least there's an interesting concept. And that like specific style of bottle of moonshine comes into play throughout the whole movie, including the end. And I won't spoil the very end, but I don't know if this was the intent, but it kind of like alcohol is the real evil. It doesn't hammer it over your head, but I feel like that might be the idea behind the movie.
Gotcha.
Like, we're gonna make our first feature-length film, and it's gonna be a PSA.
It's not that bad. If given this is the first feature-length horror film to come out of the country, and I'm sure it made a big deal, and like they made a big deal of it, I think it did super well there. It's really surprising because it's not super accessible. It is tame in the hillbilly horror genre. It's pretty tame. It does still have some hardcore gore. It's much slower than I would have expected. But it's also much more bare bones, which is surprising. There's a few times where I'm like the scenery is nice. It's well shot. There's like one sequence where it's supposed to be she's like climbing down a cliff, where it's like, you guys obviously didn't have a cliff, huh? Like that's maybe a slight slope, and you're just like not showing the supposed cliff. That's low budget.
A terrace.
Right. That's a low budget filmmaking type thing. It's like, well, we have mountains in the backdrop, doesn't mean we can shoot on a mountain, I guess.
Or risk your actors on a mountain.
Right. It just was not convincing. I was like, I get what you're doing, what you're going for. It's just not really working, but okay, whatever.
Would you recommend it?
Hold on. Dustin says, so does the old lady's fluid is a higher blood content due to being older, basically. Higher
alcohol content because it's aged like a wine on a rack.
maybe
or like a 12-year scotch kind of thing. You're like,
I think
this is a 15-year. This is a 95-year-old.
So pluses, like the acting for the most part on everybody's behalf. The lead hillbilly actually gets a somewhat emotional, touching moment, and I was like, I mean, you're never on his side, but like there's a moment where he's distraught and upset, and you're like, oh wow, like there's some depth to this hillbilly. Like, you know what I mean?
He really cares. Really cares about his work.
And from the leads, especially the two kind of lead. There's one lead female who's in most of the movie, but there's two lead females. They're really good. Like especially the lead. She looks. Picture Jessica Jones, like from the Netflix show. That's her look. She's like, there's the cool model who's like just doing it for money. She's not really into it. And then there's the very yappy blonde model. So those are your two characters. And we don't get to explore the yappy blonde model. It's fine. We don't need to. She annoys everybody, including me. But the cool model, like, they're like, it opens with a scene with her. It's like, I don't know. There's a little bit more to her character. It's kind of interesting. The end, though, is not fun. And it's like, oh, that sucks a little bit. I don't know. On Letterboxd, I gave this 3 stars. Basically,
oh wow,
It's good. It's a little too slow. The end really drug me down. It should like whatever. I like dark movies. It should be a bonus, but I'm like, and it's not. Yeah, I don't know. 3 stars. It felt okay. I was like, yeah. In theory, I should like it more. In
so
reality,
3 stars as a movie, but how many stars would it be if we're talking about the hillbilly quotient? Like, is this a 5-star Killbilly? Is as far as the genre goes.
No, as far as the genre goes, I think if you're looking for a good hillbilly horror movie, this is a little too bland. It's now if you're squeamish, this will make you squeamish, but this is a better option than like even the Wrong Turn movies, or I don't like The Hills Have Eyes, any of that, but this is more tame than those in a lot of aspects, so you might want to check it out. But if you're like a hardcore horror fan and you're like, I want some more bloodthirsty hillbillies, there are better options that'll give you more gore, more disgusting grit and sleaze. But yeah, how many hicks does it have? Okay, 4, and 1 we only see in one scene, so we only ever see 3. I mean, there's only 3 that the characters interact with, really. Which
so you're saying there's chance for a sequel?
Yeah, you're right. In terms of watching a foreign, other than the language, obviously, the only thing that really made it different in terms of being a foreign movie is the setting. Not even that, because most of it, they're just in the woods, and that's what you do when you're doing a hillbilly horror. So it was okay. It just doesn't offer up a whole lot interesting other than that one concept, which it doesn't really explore that much, that other movies don't do more of.
You know what they need now? They need like a Hillbillies Go to Manhattan.
Hillbillies Go to Manhattan.
Killbillies in space.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a proper backdrop.
Take them out of the woods.
Pictures available for this. That Paul had asked, why does the guy on the cover look like Edgar from Men in Black? That's only half of his face. The other half is relatively normal. But yeah, I don't know. Jesse, what's next? What do you got?
Well, I mean, mine is going to be a weird kind of shift too, because yours is basically the foreign film of the Hixploitation genre here. Mine is actually not even it's not even technically Hixploitation, although it does. It's an episode of Torchwood. So I went back to the year 2006 and plucked Torchwood season 1, episode 6, Countryside. Countryside, side spelled with a C, as homicide is spelled. Yeah, so the Torchwood crew, they go out into the country because they get a lead on all these killings. And so in season 1 of Torchwood, it's all about a rift in space and time, and things are just escaping from other worlds, other dimensions, and just popping up in Cardiff and all over the UK, and just attacking people. So like aliens just show up, boom. There was the Weevils were kind of a recurring creature in season 1. Well, this one, they don't know how far this rip in space and time, affects. So they are investigating all of these disappearances. And so they're way out in the middle of nowhere. And so that was kind of interesting. So now we've got like a British take on it a little bit. And so there's like these areas of like very wooded area, like a forest type of area. And then it's just open. Like a lot of times it's just like rocky and almost like prairie. It's almost like what we're used to here in Nebraska. Just open area, and that was interesting and different, because like usually when you see these movies, it's like in like we were talking about it earlier, it's in the swamp, it's in wooded area, that kind of thing. And this would just had a different feel to it. It had like rock walls and just, like, I don't know, wide open areas. And so what makes this interesting is that this is almost like a flip of the genre a little bit, in that we assume that it's going to be, because this is a sci-fi show, we assume it's going to be an alien from another world. We assume that it's going to be some kind of monsters gotten through. And really, it's just they happen upon this town, and they have this weird thing that happens every 10 years called the harvest. And it's essentially a family that starts picking people off, and people are like, the village is in on it. And so this was, usually the monster is a monster. Well, this week the monster are humans. And that's the whole deal. So spoilers for this one, but it is an interesting episode within the context of the show. And it's shot pretty well and creepy, but it's bizarre in that it's that era of television where like everybody started switching over to like digital filming, and to their own detriment a little bit. Like they hadn't figured out how to make it look like normal television. Oh, Dustin just made a Rick and Morty reference there. That would have been perfect for this little Hixploitation Purge Planet. Yeah. So it's interesting because like it looks like a lot of those BBC shows that would have been like drama, it looks almost like American soap opera in the way that it's shot and the way that it looks.
I remember being slightly off-put at first because Torchwood was billed as like, this is the Doctor Who spinoff for adults. So
right.
It's going to deal with like sexual things and whatever
sexual themes and
something about orgasms and death and stuff.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
like the first couple episodes were really heavy-handed in that.
Yeah.
And crime, and this is like Doctor Who Nights.
It felt like the soap opera Doctor Who spinoff a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was interesting. It was a little stereotypical once you knew what was actually going on, but they did a pretty good job of like making you wonder for at least the first half of the episode. It was like, is this a because they kind of had like the way they shot it. It would look like it was some kind of animal that was stalking them. There's all these like chickens and all sorts of animals just strung up. Like you string up animals when you're butchering them, but like this is like a crazy amount of animals that they're stringing up. Like you're not getting that meat is going foul before you are going to be able to like finish it, kind of thing. I don't know, but I mean, like it was interesting. It was a good episode, and it was a fun rewatch. Does it fit the Hixploitation thing? Yes, but not in the classic way.
I like that both of our Hixploitation things are not in America, so technically not really Hicks. I do like the misdirect of like you're expecting aliens because it's Torchwood or something. And to touch real quick, because I'm a nerd and I would just want to mention it, because Dustin also mentioned talking about like the look of the video, like when your aunt has a 4K TV with the motion smoothing on, which yes, and I hate that. It's because of frame rates, and I feel like places it's not that big of an issue. I guess with digital video they can just kind of like, I don't know, maybe they've kind of settled on what a more standard format is. But in America, most stuff is shot at a certain frame rate. In in Europe, they use another frame rate. So that's why a lot of especially like anything pre, I guess, modern, super modern TV from Europe to me looks a little weird because it's a slightly different frame rate. And then like the soap opera look is because they'd shoot soap operas on video, like old video, to where it's more of a frame rate like you'd get out of your old VHS or VHS-C camera from back in the day. So that's why those look weird, and to us like the earlier Torchwood and soap opera stuff looks similar because those frame rates are a little bit closer to than what we're used to on like primetime TV. That's it. Torchwood, man, I haven't revisited Torchwood in a long time. It might be worth a revisit. We're going to be seeing some more Captain Jack.
Oh yeah,
not the Disney Captain Jack. Not yet. I don't think Disney owns any of that. But Melanie,
Yes.
Did you have much, or did you have anything you want to talk about?
I did not watch anything because I got 10 hours of overtime this week. So I'm busy. So y'all don't like it. You can make out with my butt, but not the hole because Randy thinks that's gross.
It is gross. Why do you even have to mention it?
But instead, I was just going to once again pimp Tucker and Dale versus Evil. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. It's hilarious. It's a great movie. It just works very well. And everybody that I've ever forced to watch it, and I've forced a lot of people to watch it, has enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. You'll love it. It takes the exploitation idea and flips it on its head, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, literally. I love that our picks, we avoided the true down and dirty exploitation in all of our picks because we've got two non-US based exploitation stories.
Yeah.
And then Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is an intentional, like, I don't know. It's interesting because it's comedy. It's almost it's kind of parody in concept, but it's still handled like a pretty decent movie. I mean, it is a pretty decent movie, but it's not an outright spoof until you get to areas where like the teens are running and accidentally tripping into the wood chippers to keep this ridiculous concept going. But I don't know. It's great. If for some reason you haven't seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil, yeah, check it out. It's a comedy. It's got, who is the guy? Hold on, let me find it. His name is escaping me.
While you're looking that up, Dustin says, would you count season 1 of True Detective?
Yeah,
I think so. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, isn't like Matthew McConaughey like the alpha hick?
Then he would be the Swamp Billy. Yeah.
But he's more Texas than Swamp.
Yeah, I know, but that's the hierarchy. So.
So maybe he's just like a prince. The
Alan
prince
Tudyk.
of hick.
Alan Tudyk. That's the guy's name who is escaping me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Tucker and Dale versus Evil is fairly well known, but if you haven't watched it, you should. We did a double feature party, and we did this and Cabin in the Woods, and they are the perfect because they're both like deconstruction / homages to horror in general. And
that's a fun double feature right there.
It is.
Yeah, it's one of the best double features. What do you guys think about? So after I watched Killbillies, I was reading through some of the reviews. It's generally not super well received, and I think it's mostly because it is kind of bare bones and slow, like I said. But there was at least one or a couple of reviews that I thought was interesting, where people were kind of offended. They're like, another movie, offended by just Hixploitation.
Oh,
because unlike blaxploitation films, where I mean, I'm sure there are several that get into offensive territory. They're more like about empowerment and like, standing up to the man, which is usually a white, like police detective or something. Or Bruceploitation, which were all the Bruce Lee, which is insulting.
Yeah.
But like Bruce Lee is dead, so like, what's he going to be offended about? His family could be offended, but Hixploitation is just that stereotype, just the hillbilly redneck stereotype. And I can see that being exploited. How do you guys feel about that? Because I feel like the reason it's a mutant hillbilly in most times is because that takes it further away from just the regular Southern redneck type. You know what I mean? Right. It makes it more of a monster.
So like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like there's not technically a mutant there, is there?
No, but I feel
Leatherface isn't. I mean, I feel like he's maybe developmentally disabled or something, but not really a mutant.
Well, maybe it's just they're saying that hillbillies and rednecks are so inbred that they're going to turn into mutant monsters, which kind of reminds me of The Crown, actually.
Justin, hey, by the way, thanks for tuning in. No, we had watched Tucker Dale versus Evil a long time ago. We just had to throw it out as a recommendation since we're talking about Hixploitation horror movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I thought Texas Chainsaw Massacre they're not. Maybe it's just because at least the first one is such a good movie. I'm not a Southern hillbilly type, so, or at least that I'm aware of. Leatherface has feelings, Dustin says.
Well, especially in the second movie.
Yeah, I think Leatherface is just like the younger, more artistic child that didn't get the kind of attention that he should have.
He's going through a phase where he just wears people's skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
they just seem like crazy people to me in Texas Chainsaw. I know it's supposed to be like, hillbilly family, but they just seem like crazy people. Less hillbilly and more just poor, keep a low profile because they like eating people, so they're not gonna like move into town. Than like backwoods hillbilly, or maybe it's just Texas backwoods is a little bit different scenario. Listen, Texas is a little bit different in general. And you watch their lawsuits. States' rights.
I don't know why.
States' rights don't mean you get to sue other states to step on their rights.
Says Nebraska, who also jumped in on that lawsuit.
I'm so upset. I was so angry. I'm so angry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
sorry. Lots of comments.
Let's move on. They were early meth cooks, visionaries.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. How long have we been going? We've got a lot of news. Paul, you just sent me a fun hillbilly in space. What's this?
Hillbilly in space.
A hillbilly in space idea.
Oh boy.
Okay, I don't know what this is, but I gotta show. I'll show. Where did you find this? Who come up with this? Okay, I'm not gonna read through this, but I'll throw this up on the screen. Sorry, audio listeners of the future. So we've got some situation here. Let's see what's this. Oh, we got a little redneck space.
What? That's a pop-up camper.
Mm-hmm.
But a ship.
And then we got ourselves a little moon backwoods back moon farm. I don't know.
I like how they've got a windmill. I don't think there's any atmosphere on that moon, but
also I feel like shooting a shotgun on the moon would not be a great idea.
No, man, you just launch yourself off the surface of the moon.
This is how I travel. This is how I go down the road.
Yeah, I'm going down to the general store backwards.
You know, that's where you get real moonshine right there.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I love that.
Right of your own.
Wow, that was so good. That would be the name of the Hillbillies in Space. Would be Moonshine.
Oh man, yeah, that's perfect.
Copyright, trademark. Grawlix podcast. We're making
Yep. Maybe it'll be a puppet show. Imagine that. puppet Hicks on the moon.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it wouldn't be any weirder than like, what was that one? HR Huff.
Oh yeah. H&R Puff and stuff.
Yeah, that one. Magic flute. Sure.
Okay. We have a ton of news.
Okay.
I've been trying to keep these short. Get these episodes shorter, as we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. So I'm going to blow through a bunch of them. The first two, these are going to be Paul is the news source on these. He sent me these articles. True Blood Rebirth. True Blood. In fact, most of the news, correction, with the exception of maybe one story, all of the news is reacted to reboot/sequel news. They're revving their engines again.
Yeah. They're like, hey, there's a vaccine now.
True Blood reboot in the works at HBO.
Did that even end? I mean, I never really watched it, but I feel like that was running until like last year, and they're gonna reboot it.
It's been done for a while, but
well, that was my first reaction though. I was like, how it hasn't been off all that long.
I think we'd be surprised.
2014 final episode.
Really?
Date, 2014.
Okay.
They're not even waiting 10 years anymore.
Well, I mean,
6 years ago.
Right.
And they're gonna reboot it. Why not just? You want to do a vampire show? Do a vampire show.
Mm-hmm.
Your roving moose is on the scene again. That's right. Thank you. Yeah, nobody was begging for True Blood to come back.
No.
I know the show had its fans, and I never really got into it, but it seemed fine. Looked okay, maybe.
Your basic premise. I mean, it's kind of Hixploitation-y too.
I was gonna say, yeah, it did to me. It was very southern trashy romance vampire show or something. I don't know if it was trashy. So
it was really trashy.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched like 3 episodes and I forgot them instantly.
So this feels a little bit rumory, but it's being reported a bunch of places, and they've got names attached. So it's like super early development, like it's not necessarily a done deal. But it's coming from Alan Ball, creator of Riverdale and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So that seems kind of appropriate, actually. Apparently he was the creator of the original series. That's just his thing. He likes just trashy TV. Okay, that's it. Moving on. Let's see. Well, I mean, I was kind of okay. Paul, your crushes. You're so transparent with your crushes. He was down for more Anna Paquin. Would she be involved though?
No, not if it's a reboot.
If it's a reboot, I don't
unless they're continuing something. I don't know.
Here, reboot it with the cast of the
Suki, you're so fine. No.
Before we get into the Disney stuff, ton of Disney stuff. I do want to jump over to this one because this will be a short story. Sony buys Crunchyroll from AT&T.
Really?
For $1.2 billion.
Whoa.
So yeah, Warner, well, AT&T, which owns Warner Media, which is why the Crunchyroll stuff is currently on HBO Max. Warner Media sold it to Sony for $1.2 billion. So
it's a pretty robust library, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're an anime fan in the States, at least, I'm not sure what Crunchyroll's footprint is like internationally, but if you're an anime fan in the States, you know Crunchyroll. Like they carry a lot of the like most popular anime series here.
Yeah, I used to have Crunchyroll.
Did you ever cancel that?
I canceled it a long time ago. Okay. And if I were going to go animation app again, I would actually go to Funimation now because they have their own app, and most of what I watch is Funimation anyway, or made by Funimation, I should say. And they have most of the stuff that Crunchyroll has, except for the Asian drama, and I'm like the live action drama, and I'm not down with that anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, interestingly, you mentioned Funimation. Apparently, Sony invested in Funimation a few years ago, so that's Sony already. So they're just like, that is interesting. So they're going to basically boost that thing.
That's super smart. Cornering the anime market right now. You know how into anime almost all kids are anymore? It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, they're going to bank. That's a smart move on their part. Good job.
So Dustin said, Sony going to stream something? ? Paul said, Sony going to stream some anime? So, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, the gist of the story was like basically AT&T, Warner Media, they're trying to focus on HBO Max. So they're trying to slim down anything that's not HBO Max, including Crunchyroll. And like they already did away with, I think they already did away with DC Universe app, or at least it was.
Oh yeah.
Or at least DC Universe as a streaming video thing, and kind of consolidated some of those into HBO Max. Although is Titans on there yet?
I don't know.
Swamp Thing or Swamp Thing? We never
Swamp Thing's now on CW. Like I think you can watch the whole thing on CW now.
It's still a mess, man. But yeah, so that's it. Notable, definitely notable story.
Dustin says Titans is on Max.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't noticed it yet. Doom Patrol, obviously, and I've actually been hearing people talk about Doom Patrol in places that kind of surprised me. So I'm like, ooh, it's catching on. Keep going. Doom Patrol's so good.
Savannah's watching it.
Ooh, it's so good. Okay, so let's get into one more before we hit all the Disney stuff. Aliens series in the works at FX with Fargo creator Noah Hawley, Ridley Scott in advanced talks to executive produce. So it'd be the first time there'd be a TV show based on the Alien franchise.
Man, that would cost some money.
Yeah.
Or you almost never see the aliens. One of the two.
Yeah.
It would take place on Earth, it says.
Well, that would save some, probably.
But yeah, I don't know what that would be. It claims it'd be like it would have the horror of the first one mixed with the action of the second one. It's like, well, of course that's how you would pitch that. Like the qualities people like from the two good Alien movies.
For the two best ones, yeah.
Yeah, they don't need anything. Well, they could be like with the dog-sized aliens from the third one, because that was like only interesting thing about that one was they were small and fast.
Right.
Super interesting is that was like one of the late minute changes. It was supposed to be like a cow or something, so they were gonna have this big one, but they're like, no, we want a small one. And apparently it's been so long since I watched the third one, but apparently if you like kind of watch for it, the alien drastically changes sizes from scene to scene at times, and that's because of that inconsistency. There was a lot of reshoots on that one.
Or maybe they were like, why would they have a bunch of cows on a prison planet?
Dustin says, I trust FX. Listen, the only FX show I'm super familiar with is Legion, and that show was amazing, and I can't believe a studio or like a TV network okayed that for as long as they did. It was so weird.
It was so good, though. Yeah, if you haven't watched Legion, watch Legion also. I totally recommend that one.
Yeah, it's completed now, so you can. And they knew they were ending it when they ended it, so it's like a complete. Okay, Paul said, "Great, 5 years between seasons." Referencing apparently the Fargo release schedule. Fargo is a series I have not even tried yet, but I've heard nothing but good things. Okay, so today was Disney Investor Day. How
that's why
that they call it's that the big Disney news release day is Disney Investor Day. That is so perfect.
That's literally what they call it.
That is what it's called, because Disney has their big investor call, and it's when they announce. I mean, it used to be like, I guess this is the third year they've done it.
It's kind of I kind of like the transparency of it. I guess.
Like, we're going to announce all of our stuff, not for you guys, for our investors. So we're just going to call it the Investor Day.
The people who pay for it, other than you.
It is painfully transparent. So I guess you're right. It's not a bad thing. So there have been so many news. In fact, before we started streaming an hour ago, like there was still stuff being updated. Paul said, well, season 4 just finished of Fargo. You've got 5 years to catch up. Okay. Oh, so
that's kind of sad. Yeah.
Almost the Venture Brothers method, where they released 5 seasons in the course of 13 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, except it's live action, so like people get old.
Right.
Like, this what happened last season? Well, I was a teenager. Now I'm 30.
So, where to start, man? The first story I come across, because I didn't know, the first story I come across was this Vulture article, and the title is Disney is making just so many new Star Wars things. So let's blow through these, because we talked about this a little bit pre-stream. So they obviously did not learn from the trouble that was Solo, basically, when they were like pumping out so many movies. They're like Star Wars, they got Star Wars, they put it out, it did well, and they're like, pump them out. Solo, spin-offs, just all of it, pump it out.
Force Awakens was really good. Let's do Rogue One. Rogue One's really good. Let's do everything.
They pumped it out until like they hit Solo, and people are like, I'm done. And they're like, oh, reel it in. Well, The Mandalorian's doing gangbusters.
It's incredible. It's the best thing ever.
It is really good. But instead of saying like, oh, people like this thing that like is made with passion and like a vision, like it's a loving homage to this other thing. Instead of like looking at that and recognizing that, they're like, Star Wars is big again. Pump them out.
More 1 hour episodes. Thousands of 1 hour episodes.
Yeah. But you know, those aren't going to have like a green baby Mogwai.
That's the thing.
And man. I think that might be the thing that's really getting something.
I mean,
he's so flippin' cute.
For me, it's like the dedication to like, this is a Western samurai, you know, the original Star Wars influences, genre show, hardcore with a Star Wars skin. But yeah, I think for a lot of people, it's the Baby Yoda show, and I agree, it's better because of Baby Yoda. But what do those other shows have? Either of those things? Probably not.
No, that's what I'm saying.
However, Melanie, almost all of them at some point will tie in and cross over with Mandalorian, so they can all visit Baby Yoda.
You know, and then they gave Baby Yoda a name, and it's like, okay, well, they gave the Mandalorian a name too. Can anybody name him?
Mando.
Does anyone care what his name is? He's the Mandalorian.
His name is Mando.
I was gonna say he's a racist slur, Mando.
He's a Mando. People use it like a slur. Yeah,
it does sound like it when I'm in it. Yeah.
You've got good creatives behind most of it, though. See, if you can, you're right, Dustin. Oh, I don't know why that disappoints me. Because I want Disney to learn a lesson. Okay,
right.
I want them to learn.
Well, I think maybe they did. Maybe.
Okay, so among these things, there's going to be a spinoff of there's going to be Ahsoka. Is that how it's pronounced? Ahsoka Tano, whatever the character that Rosario Dawson played recently, and she was also in one of the animated. She's a character from the animated. Ahsoka. I don't know the Star Wars lingo.
I don't know. One of us is getting it wrong, and we're being yelled at. So one of us is getting.
Both of you are saying it different than I would say it, and I know I'm wrong. So
Paul says because you can't be salty. That's why I don't want it to be good, because otherwise I can't be salty.
It's gonna suck.
There's another spin-off series, Rangers of the New Republic, both of which will take place in the same era as The Mandalorian and will eventually cross over with the main show.
With the Rangers one? Never mind, go ahead.
I love. Okay, who wrote this? Jackson McHenry. Wow, what a name!
right. That's like
Henry,
Scottish, and
oh man, I feel
Jackson's
like the man
a strong name.
Every day, if my name was Jackson McHenry, every day. So, but
that's Mr. McHenry to you, sir.
I had to shout out the author of this Vulture article because I love this line. Both of which will take place in the same era as The Mandalorian and will eventually cross over with the main show, so everyone can hang out with Baby Yoda or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's details about the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series with Ewan McGregor. Hayden Christensen himself will be back to play Darth Vader.
Okay, now this is where they're not learning a lesson.
People love Star Wars, and they want Darth Vader. You think a show with no characters that nobody recognizes is going to do well? We got to have Darth Vader.
No, I mean, but like, okay, so in fairness, I'm playing here, but like they brought back the guy who played Jango Fett, right? And made him Boba because Boba's a clone, and nailed it, knocked it out of the park. So with the right direction, and that's always been my argument against Hayden, was not that he's a bad actor. They did not ask him to act. He had terrible directors, I think. He could have done a lot better. They did not ask him to do anything better than wooden dialogue.
That's fair.
Hot take. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is why I'm like not super excited about any of these, because as you mentioned it, and it's been like you've mentioned it. Boba was in the recent episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole internet knows. That's not even a spoiler at this point.
The internet's excited. You were excited.
My nephew was jealous of my boyfriend because I'm like, I can't watch that. I have to watch it with Randy, and he's like, what?
So here's why I'm not super excited about the rest of the spinoffs. I could care less. Boba was in it. Don't care.
Right.
In fact, the more entrenched in like Star Wars characters that I don't know that the show acts like I'm supposed to know, the less interested in the show I will get.
I am worried about that. I do think that's a slippery slope, and it will change the nature of the show. One of the things that made it so cool in the beginning is that you didn't have to know anything.
Yeah, I'm real quick. Paul says I beat a little. And
they did more for Boba in 15 minutes than they did for the last 30 years. So
I mean, I get the being a fan favorite character, and like, you know, and it was handled okay. Like I thought he was cool enough. His weapon is very weird looking. I don't understand what it is, but
the gaffy stick, that's actually a weapon
it's just that
the Tusken Raiders use. The sand people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sand people.
They're an interesting thing. Okay, I have watched Star Wars every Christmas all of my life, so I've seen it a lot, but I still couldn't tell you half the characters' names because I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't. It's the entire movie that is my thing.
A lot of characters too.
My nephew plays video games, and then from the video games, he's like, and this cartoon was in between the whatever, and this is the timeline of this, and this is that. And when he watched last episode, he was freaking out because of whatever the reveals of characters. He knew them all. And so I didn't know what the heck was going on, but I still enjoyed it. So I don't think it's real. I think it's okay if you don't know who they are. It's still a good show. But if you know who it is, I think people are like,
oh yeah,
going crazy over that.
Well, the Thrawn nod was super up. Like I was like, yes, because I read those books.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing. So long as they can do that, and they can, but so long as it still stays the Mandalorian, it still stays a good show. Right. Because I like that it's a Western-y thing in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to lose the part that I like and just focus on Star Wars universe.
I love that very first episode. The season opener is still maybe one of my favorite episodes ever.
Yeah.
Of anything. Pretty close. And we're throwing Cobra Kai in there, and I love me some Cobra Kai, but that season opener was such just a beautiful pastiche of spaghetti Western type stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think it was way better handling of the like helping the small town in trouble than the first season's helping the small town in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that they used a sheriff that's been a sheriff for their sheriff in so many shows now. It's ridiculous.
You need a sheriff, you get Bullock. I know that's not his real name. That's his sheriff name forever, but
yeah.
Okay, what else? Moving forward.
Yeah, gotta move on.
I knew we'd kind of get bogged down in the Star Wars stuff.
Sorry.
Oh no, don't be sorry. That's fine. That's why I wanted to kind of get to it, because there's others. Hold on.
Skip them.
Kennedy also announced that Diego Luna's Rogue One character Cassian Andor's spin-off series Andor will be out in 2022.
So it has to be a prequel then, right? Like it's got to happen
so.
before Rogue One, obviously.
And Dear White People creator Justin Simeon is working on a Lando series that will star someone. Maybe Donald Glover, but there's been no news on that.
That would be pretty huge.
Yeah, it would be.
Donald Glover's just a good get
in
life. He's a treasure.
Yeah, you love him.
He's great. And then there's another Star Wars series called The Acolyte. Oh, this in more experimental news. I don't know what that means, so maybe this is less sure, more of a Rocky thing. The Acolyte, a mystery thriller that will take views into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like something
that sounds awesome, but I think that's going to alienate new viewers. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
That one sounds risky, I guess is the best way to put it.
Taika Waititi, I actually said his name right, is still attached to do a new Star Wars movie. Crazy Rich Asians' John M. Chu is directing the pilot of a series called Willow, which there's like
Mad Mardigan,
but it's in the Star Wars. I'm assuming it's Star Wars connected.
Oh, really?
And Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins is making her own Star Wars feature. It's called Rogue Squadron, set to premiere in 2023, and will follow fighter pilots on some sort of adventure.
Are these all series?
I think the last couple are movies.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like more fun if it were a movie, because I don't know that I want a whole series of that.
Of some fighter, squadron. Although I will say, some of my favorite parts of the what are we just talking about a minute ago?
Star Wars, Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian were like the stormtroopers sitting there being normal people.
Oh yeah, and I like when they do come across the X-wing fighters in one of the episodes. It's interesting to see them being like kind of jerky cop types.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so this article got updated a bunch. Obi-Wan Kenobi Secret Invasion series leads slate of 50+ new Disney Plus originals. Holy crap! Woo. They announced
they're doing the Netflix thing now, huh?
I'm guessing they're like, okay, it's the end of 2020. HBO Max is going all in on this streaming service. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right.
Disney needs to do something, because I'll tell you what, signing on to all the apps, Disney's the one where I'm like, there's like one show I would watch on here, and everything else is stuff from my childhood, which I love, but I'm not going to sit here and waste my time on it right now, you know?
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to jump to that story, because I was just talking to you about this, Melanie, last week, maybe? Where'd it go? I was like, looking around on there. Fuzz Bucket, that's right. I was looking around on there, and I'm like, there's nothing like there's nothing else I want to watch. It's either stuff I've seen, it's the Mandalorian, or a bunch of stuff that's like, okay, cool, I get it, but like I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Mandalorian right now is the only thing I watch on there. And then I was looking at the X-Men stuff. Also, I'm not going to get into it. There's some revisionist history that I don't appreciate, because there's a little tile. If you click on it, it'll be like the history of Disney, and it'll like have a bunch of like their notable releases for every decade. They include all the Fox stuff in there.
Oh,
I'm like, no, Star Wars back in the 70s was not a Disney film. The X-Men movies were not Disney films. The fact that you list it back there feels like a little bit of revisionist history, if you ask me. I know you own it now. I don't like that it's presented that way, but whatever. What do I care? But anyway, point is, like,
it is weird though. It is weird.
So they have Fox. They own Fox. I was like, but where's all the, like? What sucks about Disney is they're never gonna have. They don't have Watcher in the Woods. That is a shame.
Mhm.
That movie is that's a Disney branded Disney movie. It's one of the very few when they're like, let's try doing straight up horror movies in the 70s, and it is amazing. Disney's The Watcher in the Woods horror movie. They don't have it. But I was like, there's nothing for adults. Like, they have the whole Fox catalog, I'm assuming. So, like, they're never going to have anything that really hardcore. They keep censoring what they do have on there.
Mhm.
Well, also today, Disney Plus unveils Star Channel for matured audiences.
Okay.
Star Channel?
It's going to be Star Plus or something.
What? Okay, what?
Okay,
That's
so
confusing when you consider that there's like Stars, which is a competing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I feel like
There's some. It was an AMC Plus. Isn't there like somebody else using the Plus now? Like,
Apple.
is there going to be a battle over the Plus?
Apple TV Plus, I think, is.
Oh, is
Apple's
it?
service. Yeah. No, they need to stop. They need to get better names.
Yeah.
We're dipping into the I territory where it's I everything.
They're gonna have to Disney 20.
Dustin says they will eventually integrate Hulu and Disney Plus. I mean, yeah, a story I kind of skipped over earlier is like Hulu is going to be, there's going to be more feature films produced for Hulu, but it's Fox and Searchlight, which is like their kind of like lower budget imprint, which is also, since it's Fox, is Disney will be producing those. So Hulu's always been weird because it's not its own thing. It's been owned by the networks for a long time.
Yeah.
But
I thought if you paid for it, you didn't have to have commercials, but I was wrong.
Hulu? Oh yeah, no, Hulu.
No, if you pay more for it.
They were one of the first, I think, to do that too. And Netflix flirted with that idea for a while, and it got shut down real quick. Their prices are going up, by the way. I got an email about that the other day.
I don't mind because honestly, I still think Netflix has the most to offer of all the streaming services.
Yeah, we've talked about this exact thing. Their prices,
Cobra Kai,
right? I'm not concerned with it until it hits like $20 or something, and it's not near that. So,
right.
But yeah, Star Plus. So it will be something that that will be bundled. Okay, hold on. This is from comingsoon.net. With 20th Century Fox under their wing, Disney is finally expanding their streaming platform Disney Plus with all of the more mature content from the banner under a new title known as Star that will include everything from Family Guy to Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta. Speaking of Donald Glover. Logan, Kingsman, and more. Maybe it was Logan because they have all the X-Men stuff, but I'm like, where's Logan, huh?
Yeah.
Kingsman's worth a rewatch if you haven't. I still haven't watched the second one, but the first one's great.
It was fun. Second one's fun.
Is that
weird?
Which one has what's his name? That always cusses. This MF.
Oh, Sam Jackson? He's in the first one.
Okay, then maybe I haven't.
Oh, Kingsman. Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought we were talking about Logan for some reason. Okay. So what all audiences will have to do is log into the streaming platform Disney Plus and head to the options and opt into the tile, I guess Star or Star Plus, and set a password that will ensure younger viewers can avoid watching such programming accidentally. In addition, Star Plus will launch as a separate streaming platform in Latin America, offering general entertainment TV shows, movies, local originals, and live sports from ESPN, including soccer leagues, Grand Slam tennis, and more in June of 2021. The new Star Tile is set to launch on Disney Plus free of charge in most major markets on February 23rd, 2021. Yeah.
I still think they're stupid and they're making it more difficult than they need to. And it's going to hurt them in the long run.
I don't think offering it is going to hurt them, but making it, and I get like, and that was my thing. I was like, there's such like, it's the service is obviously so kid oriented. They're never going to like just, where's the adult movies? Where's the movies for adults? Not like the adult movies, but I feel like burying it so low, there's a lot of people that still won't realize it's there. And that will maybe hurt them.
They should have gone the opposite. They should have been like Disney and then had Disney Kids or something like that. That would have been so much simpler and easier and could have saved them a lot of time. But they didn't. So now they're still not going to get a whole lot of subscribers, I don't think.
Well, maybe they'll get their own. I mean, it's Disney; they own everybody already.
Yeah.
It'll be like its own. Maybe it won't be as buried as it sounds, but yeah. I mean, I feel like it's still, in terms of like a money value, better than launching as a separate service you have to pay for as well.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, can I jump in? Paul says, "Why don't they call the mature one Pleasure Island, a nod to Pinocchio?" Their Pleasure Island is a nod to more than Pinocchio, but. Because if I'm going to Pleasure Island, I'm expecting a little more mature than
regular. A little more than Logan.
Yeah.
Disney would tell me a lie.
Tell me more about your huge Jackman.
Okay, hold on. Where's there some others? Oh my gosh, so many sequels. This one I titled so many sequels, prequels, and spin-offs, because the story is, and this is from like some video started playing. ABC News, like local network to Chicago website, posted this, but Disney's Investor Day previews new additions to Hocus Pocus, Lion King, Toy Story, Enchanted universes. So the Lion King, Toy Story, Hocus Pocus, Sister Act.
Where did you had to say it 3 times?
I'm reacting to the news. I had not noticed that before. That's a genuine reaction.
I enjoy Sister Act, so
it's just what night. Oh, you know what though? A night at the museum. 90s nostalgia. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Night at the Museum and Enchanted franchises, among others, are getting sequels, prequels, and spin-offs. There's a new film called, I don't know what that is. A new Pixar called Lightyear. Oh, Lightyear is going to be, there's going to be a Buzz Lightyear movie. And the voice is going to be, I think, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah. That does not strike me as Tim Allen.
No.
I mean, like, fine. I'm not a huge fan of Tim Allen personally, but
why not? Does he sound old now? Why not? It's a voice.
No. As a person.
No, yeah.
No,
I
okay,
mean, like,
okay,
from their
but yeah, it'll be a disconnect. I think kids will see through that. I always saw through that, like when they would do like, I don't know, the animated series version of something, and it wasn't the actual character voicing it. In very few circumstances was I like, oh, I'm cool with it. Like Beetlejuice. Nope, that was fine. Whoever was the voice actor for Beetlejuice in that sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to blow through these because this is the reason I saved this article particularly, because this has a whole list. By the way, if you want to check out any of the articles I'm referencing, come Monday when the podcast post goes up, I always include links to every article we cover. Hocus Pocus 2, a sequel to the 1993 film, is coming to Disney Plus. A Disney Plus reboot of Three Men and a Baby starring Zac Efron coming in 2022.
Sister Act.
A real life original films inspired by real life stories of various athletes, blah blah blah. Flora and Ulysses. A reimagining of Cheaper by the Dozen.
Wow.
You're scraping the bottom of the barrel when you're doing Cheaper by the Dozen reboot.
Which actually has already been rebooted once also, so.
God. An animated Diary of a Wimpy Kid film.
That's not that bad. A lot of kids like that.
A new Ice Age movie. It'll be the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. An animated Night at the Museum film.
I didn't
Jungle...
care for those, actually.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't care for any of the Night at the Museum movies personally, but I don't care for Ben Stiller either. So,
yeah, I've never watched any of them because Ben Stiller, it does not excite me, especially as the leading guy. A prequel to the this is Paul had said he was worried about Lion King. A prequel to the live action Lion King film with music from Hans Zimmer, Pharrell Williams, and Nicholas Britell. Little Mermaid, live action Little Mermaid starring Halle Berry as Ariel.
What?
They settled on Halle Berry. Oh, Halle Bailey.
Oh God.
I was like,
whew,
why is she still around? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. That's somebody else.
Are you saying that once women hit a certain age, they're not relevant anymore or something?
No, I just don't like her. She ruined X-Men. She ruined X-Men.
Okay. I will.
Sister Act.
No, we're not there. I don't know where that's at. Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, a hybrid live-action animated film starring John Mulaney and Andy Samberg. A retelling of Pinocchio starring Tom Hanks. Peter Pan and Wendy.
Pleasure Island.
Peter to lie to me. Peter Pan and Wendy. That's going to be the title. Enchanted sequel, Disenchanted. Sister Act 3. This is a straight up sequel. Sister Act 3 starring Whoopi Goldberg. It's kind of the best way to do a Sister Act something.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I really can't imagine if they made a Sister Act without Whoopi, it probably wouldn't really.
What's she gonna do?
She's gonna sing. What you talking about?
Is she though?
I mean, as much as she did in the first two, yeah.
Are they going to give this one a snappy subtitle because Sister Act 2 Back in the Habit is maybe the best subtitle ever?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
What's she gonna do? Dustin says she gonna praise. Oh, Paul said,
well, she'll have a new point of view.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they highlight just some scumbags on that show too. Let's see, 4 Disney animation series coming to Disney Plus. Baymax.
Oh,
Betamax.
Zootopia Plus.
Wait. Betamax? Is that what you said?
Baymax
B-A-Y.
from Big Hero 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, they're trying to bring back Betamax.
Yep, Disney. They're like,
Yes.
Disney Plus not working out. We're going to Betamax.
Betamax, bringing it back.
Tiana, and then
From Princess and the Frog.
I don't know, man. Sure, whatever.
He spends the least amount of time with children of all of us, so he's not gonna know.
Yeah, I don't. Moana.
Mona.
Mona.
Oh, I bet. I bet he's not even here anymore in the watching.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to say this word. Some sci-fi series. Okay. Anyway, Encanto. Feature film set in Colombia about a magical family that lives in a magical home. That sounds magical. Pixar Popcorn, a collection of shorts starring Pixar characters. Additional episodes of the Inside Pixar docuseries. Burrow. It's Pixar's next Spark. Okay. A Spark short that will accompany Soul when it drops on Disney Plus at the end of the month. Okay. I don't need to know about the Pixar shorts, okay?
Cool.
They're shorter than the Pixar pants.
I'm just going to get more and just disheartened as we go through this. We haven't even got to the Marvel stuff. New Cars series.
Oh, God.
I hated Cars.
I know you've always hated Cars.
It was the first Pixar movie. I was like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul's got Sister Act 3 habit forming. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they would do, but if they get away from the habit, they already did the habit pun. It was really good. But
Dustin had Kicking the Habit. Did you see that one?
Oh, I kind of like that one better. Still. Doug Days and an Up spin-off series where Doug discovers the dangers of suburbia like puppies, fireworks, and squirrels. Remember when Pixar's like, we're never doing a sequel?
Right.
Remember when they were like, let's float this house away with balloons, and now they're like, let's discover the dangers of fireworks.
I was gonna say, and then Disney's like, you'll do what you
Then they got a taste of that Toy Story money, and they were like, sequels, huh?
Yeah.
Paul says, I love watching Jesse read the comments.
I do react pretty heavily.
Okay, I'm gonna start skipping through. There's a Lightyear. We already seen that. Let's see, WandaVision, of course. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness debuts March 25th, 2022. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, March 19th. Black Widow, which will hit theaters in May 2021. Loki, a series starring Owen Wilson.
What?
Why?
Shouldn't he be in the Lightning McQueen show, like the Cars spinoff? Like,
right.
Wow.
Why do they? Why is that?
Nobody's gonna watch that. I can guarantee you. The only reason anybody even liked Loki is because of whoever the actors that played him, whose name I don't
Hiddleston, yeah.
But yeah,
how he's gonna be in it though, right? How do they do a Loki series without?
It's got to be.
I think
they're gonna make him Owen Wilson.
No, good dude. That's almost like too stupid for like an SNL skit or something. No, I think they just chose to like whoever put this list together. Like, who's in this? Owen Wilson. I recognize that name because they're probably 30 years old. They're definitely no Jackson McHenry. I know that much.
They're no Jackson McHenry. Jackson McHenry wouldn't pull this.
What If? Oh, I didn't realize What If isn't going to be an animated series. What If? Marvel animated series, summer 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, theaters, July 9th. Miss Marvel, an original series starring Iman Vellani. Are they doing like a different Miss Marvel then? Because
that'll be what's her name?
Miss Marvel is different than Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she hangs out with Miles Morales and yeah.
Oh, here we go. Right. Okay. Because when Captain Marvel came out, I was confused because at the time in the comics, the character I thought was Captain Marvel, maybe it was just Miss Marvel, was of Middle Eastern descent or something. And I was like, Brie Larson.
Yeah.
I don't follow any of that stuff.
No,
I was like, really? They're gonna go like white, blonde-haired white lady? But
no, they're gonna go Milli Vanilli. Apparently.
Are they?
Wait, what did you say?
I don't know. I don't know. But I your comment, I think, seems wrong in context.
A little bit.
Who's Milli Vanilli?
Are you looking up who's Milli Vanilli?
No, I'm asking you what you're referring to.
Whatever I don't know. You said something about Vanilli.
Iman Vellani. I can't pronounce this name. Captain Marvel 2 featuring Brie Larson and that person from Miss Marvel. So
Owen Wilson.
I know, starring Owen Wilson as
in Sister Act 3.
Wow. As Whoopi Goldberg. Eternals with an ensemble cast coming to theaters November 2021. Hawkeye series, no date. She-Hulk. Oh, this was another story. She-Hulk with somebody, I don't know this name, and Mark Ruffalo coming to Disney Plus. What was the other She-Hulk news? Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
Huh.
If they're going to do a She-Hulk series, they're going to have bring the Hulk in to, you know.
Oh,
Can't just let the lady go and do it on herself. Do it all herself.
Yeah, I get it.
There's a lot of people returning to a lot of things lately. I know.
Oh, Tim Roth was returning as the Abomination in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That was the other story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Love Tim Roth.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
I like Tim Roth as the bellhop.
Yeah.
I
or
love,
any kind of scuzzy bad guy, villain guy.
I love Tim Roth in everything.
Yeah.
But
Rob Roy.
Secret Invasion, which is a Marvel thing. I can't remember.
That's happening?
Coming to Disney Plus. That's all it says.
Like as a series?
Doesn't say. Not
What?
At least not here. Ironheart, an original series, quote, about the creator of the most advanced suit of armor since Iron Man, end quote, coming to Disney Plus.
Oh, Ironheart is it's been a while since I read comic books.
Armor Wars.
She was cool.
it's a Nick Fury series, says Dustin.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Secret Invasion is, I'm assuming.
Oh,
Because the scrolls in the way that was it Captain Marvel, the way that ended?
yeah.
Oh no, it was Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, the second one, I don't. Whoa,
Or no,
was it the first
Not
one?
Homecoming. Second one. Second one.
I don't know.
Far From Home.
This is we're too
Yeah.
far off in the.
There's too much. There's too
Yeah,
much. You know what
exactly.
they should do? They should pick one character, make them good, and make that a movie. I'm voting.
They did that. His name was Captain America, and now he's dead.
Armor Wars, a classic Marvel story about Tony Stark's worst fear coming true
Oh,
because they can't let him die. Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy. Okay, wait, this might be good. A Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. If
oh God.
that would be good. That would be good if what they're doing is playing on the Star Wars holiday special.
Right. Which you know they will. Life Day. Was it Life Day?
I Am Groot.
You're
an
like
original-
family.
I Am Groot, an original series of Baby Groot shorts.
That's just
Which are like pants, only shorter.
That's just pandering real hard.
Yes, it is.
Pantering, even.
He says pantering. I say milking. Whatever.
Black Panther 2, July 8th, 2022. We've reported on this before, but Marvel will not recast Chadwick Boseman's character. I always get his name wrong. And this was another one. A John Watts who directed, I think the Spider-Man movies, the recent Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
A John Watts directed Fantastic Four film.
Oh.
So they're going to try that again.
Another Fantastic Four, hey?
Fourth time's a charm.
Is it really those would be the third time, right?
Well, it'll
Oh,
be the third
there's the one
officially
that
released.
this would technically be
Well, there was the unreleased
Mhm.
first Fantastic Four movie, yeah,
right.
which apparently is not that bad.
Huh.
I think the thing so far that
The thing.
Ah,
Clobbering time.
Flame on.
the thing so far that I have been most excited about, if it's done correctly, that is the gosh, what is it called? The bow and arrow guy, not
Hawkeye.
yes, Hawkeye. If Hawkeye is done well, Hawkeye is awesome. I just don't know if they're actually gonna do it justice.
Okay, so Dustin is. If I'd have realized you'd have been around and you had all the, I would have invited you on, Dustin. Dustin has the info on this, and mind you, I know there's more info about all this Disney stuff, but that just the overview really made me not want to be doing this anymore. So, but Dustin has lots of info. Holiday special by James Gunn, filmed during Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Cool. Guns involved. I like that.
Mhm.
Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, he said. Armor
Bishop
Wars
takes
is
up the mantle and like the new event, the Young Avengers or whatever.
Armor Wars is Cheadle's show.
Mm.
Captain Planet. I mean Don Cheadle.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yes.
Don Cheadle as Captain Planet is the best.
It's the best role he's ever
Please.
done.
You're a tree.
You're all trees.
You're all trees.
So good.
Paul says, "Hey, now that Cap is dead, he can come back as Johnny Storm
Or Buzz Lightyear. Joke's on you. I don't know why.
Did I even put any of that? Oh yeah, there's a Spider Watch. God, there's too much news, but we got to end this show. Spider Watch. Charlie Cox. This seems less certain. Like it's not as reported as many places, and the places that did report are not as familiar to me. Charlie Cox is back as Daredevil in Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man 3, Alfred Molina returning as Doc Ock. So Spider-Man 3 is doing... The Flash is going to pull in all the DC people from previous DC movies and over there. Here, Spider-Man 3, they're doing it. They're going to pull in all the Spider-Mans.
Every spiders.
All the other Marvel characters. Randy, your vape looks like a self-destruct button.
And dude from Lovecraft is Kang.
What?
It says dude from Lovecraft is Kang. And I automatically go to TNMT. I don't know if that's what it is, but
okay.
Krang?
Krang.
Oh,
okay.
Krang, okay.
Same difference. In fact, because Kang the Conqueror and Ant-Man 3, be better if it was Krang.
Yes.
Just saying. Okay. All right. One last thing that I have, and then we're going to make our speedy thing. But you know what? You didn't get it last week. You guys lucked out.
You've missed it. You didn't get it for Thanksgiving either.
It's been 2 weeks.
It's been forever.
We'll consider that your holiday gift, and we're taking that gift back now. Snyder Watch, you missed it. You know
it's like coming home.
Oh, and Paul, I did use Spider Watch in my notes. Even the Spider-Man news; those are stories that Paul.
You can put a hashtag on that.
I put hashtag Spider Watch. Well, we're beyond that now because wait. Oh, okay. We're in the Snyder Watch. Just one story. Oh, Dustin says magnificent. If you have
his first time, yeah,
that's your first time through the Snyder Watch segment, yeah. Audio.
You always remember your first time.
You're missing out. You're missing out
if you Snyder Watch.
People are like, where were you? You know, if you're a certain age, you remember where you were when JFK was shot, or 9/11, or just as terrible. Nope. Take your get back. Not as terrible. Still bad. Snyder Watch. Zack Snyder's Justice League may get a comic book expansion. Ooh. To which I say, pretty sure that was a given because DC does that with all their movies. But okay,
I was say, yeah, like what Doomsday Clock. I mean, it's still don't know how that ended.
It's not unsurprising, but like, I mean, DC they've been doing that for a while. They'll pump in a tie-in comic series for anything that's doing fairly well.
Yeah, they're like. Never mind. I'm not going to say. Go ahead.
So what's interesting to me though is that this is coming from WeGotThisCovered.com, and there's not a lot of news on this, but basically, it's confirmation by.
Is that even real news? If it's We Got This Covered,
I don't know. I'm not that familiar.
I think they are actually fake news.
Are they seriously? Okay.
Yeah.
Well. It sounds like
man. We got another Snyder Watch after that. This is our only Snyder Watch.
I've seen it though.
Okay.
Elsewhere. So let me find it. Let me double check it.
Paul says it's already getting an effing movie expansion. How much more can they expand?
It's already an expansion, yeah.
They've already added scenes with Jared Leto that weren't filmed. How much?
And everybody else.
And everybody else, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's the pretty one.
Okay, what about comicbook.com?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
We got this covered though.
Very questionable. Okay.
Sketchy.
Good to know. I haven't come across it too often.
Would also like to real quick while he's looking that up. Happened to Jeremy? He's Jared Leto's twin brother. Jeremy was an actor. What happened to him?
Maybe he got left on Mars during the 30 Seconds to Mars.
Sister Act 3. I don't know.
Wait, is his name Jeremy?
Leto. Same last name as Jared because they're twins.
Well, when you Google it, it autocorrects to Jared.
Jeremy is also an actor. He has one less toe, but he is also a twin.
Oh, no, it's just a whole bunch of Jared.
Wouldn't that be crazy if they were just like running around pretending to be each other? And everybody's and Melanie's the one that's like, do you remember Jeremy? Like, no, shh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I only remember because when I was a teen, my walls were covered with attractive actors, and I had both Jeremy and Jared, his brother, on my wall. I couldn't tell them apart, but they were both there.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, I had seen the story other places, so that's why I went with it. But from comicbook.com, they say basically the same thing. Basically, this is kind of like a confirmation by you'll see. But this does involve the good Snyder, who's involved with Batman and DC stuff, Scott Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that it took so long for these two names to cross.
Yeah.
And the twin.
It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, only Snyder.
Yeah. I don't know if that's better or worse.
Oh.
Okay, so anyway, basically, Scott Snyder, who, if you don't know, because we don't talk about comics anymore, so you might not be a comics fan, is a comic book writer who he got very well known during the Batman New 52 run, but he also has done a lot of horror comics, which is awesome. And he was out and about promoting his new American Vampire 1976 series, which American Vampire was a series he's also very well known for. He did Witches, which we talked about forever ago, which is really good.
He's really well known for Court of Owls and his run thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
Also Batman Metal, or whatever the whole metal thing was. He was involved in that.
According to Omelette, who is Omelette? Omelette.com? Well, anyway, they sponsored the event that he was at promoting this stuff. Oh,
sounds excellent.
A virtual event, so maybe you can find a replay of this somewhere. But anyway, he did touch on some of his mainstream DC work, and at one point said that DC Comics asked him to, quote, help with the comic adaptation and expansion of the Justice League Snyder Cut mythology that Zack Snyder was doing on HBO Max. And Scott Snyder half-jokingly said that he turned the job down because, quote, I had a lot of jobs ahead of me, and I can't deal with people confusing us anymore. I like that. He's like, I'm good.
No, can't do it.
Plus, yeah, because I've made that tongue slip before, saying Scott Snyder instead of Zack Snyder. That slip of the tongue.
You really have to watch the Snyder.
You want the good one, the bad one?
Which one? Which one are you going to do? You really got to watch it. It's a
You think
Snyder
you're
watch.
inviting in Scott Snyder, and Zack Snyder slides in and starts playing.
Yeah.
Leonard
Like a vampire.
Leonard Cohen
like,
on your stereo.
Bat.
Moving around the room all slow.
Are they vampires? Because they're both dealing with bats.
Animaniacs took a nice jab at Batman v Superman. Oh, Melanie and I did watch the first episode of that. It was entertaining. Yeah, it was good. Okay. Melanie?
Mm-hmm.
Anything we should be amazed by? I'm sorry it's gone so late, guys, by the way. I know I usually wait till after the stream to say that, but I'm sorry. I was doing a Melanie towards the end here, trying to like, okay, blah, 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 blah. We need to move on.
The main thing that I have is that Rosita, which is a telescope, found a large-scale bubble in the halo of the Milky Way, which, is fine. But it's several kiloparsecs, which is like 50,000 light years about. And almost as big as the galaxy itself. As like bubbles in the middle, which is super interesting to me, mostly because there was recently an article saying that matter or information more than matter that falls into black holes is actually spit back out. So that was one of the big issues with black holes, is that once the information or matter or whatever it is, because information and matter are basically the same, once they fall into a black hole, they kind of disappear, except that they are spit back out. So the giant bubbles that are in each side of the Milky Way are actually the supermassive black hole in the center of the galaxy, spitting out the information that has fallen into it. So,
like the Berenstein Bears.
Yes, just like the Berenstein Bears, not the Berenstain Bears, because they're not real. The Berenstein Bears, right there. Yep.
Yeah, but the Berenstein Bears came from some black hole magic.
They did, but
the Berenstain Bears fell into a hole and never returned.
Yeah, that's not what's happening. That actually doesn't have anything to do with black holes. That's with the dimensions. Come on.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we've done a really good show tonight.
I mean, we've covered everything. We covered like what Swamp Kings or something. Like we started with humble hillbillies or killbillies, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Spider Watches. We went to Snyder Watches. We went to Disneyland. We went to Disney World. Went to whatever the hell a Pixar planet is.
That I shouldn't have done that list of all that. that drained me. By the time we hit the Marvel titles, I was like, I don't care about this anymore.
Used up all of our energy on talking Mandalorian. It was like, this is really good. They should be careful. And then we were like, oh God, there's so many.
They're not careful.
They're not careful. They're doing a spin-off for everything. Sister Act 3.
Sister
Act.
Who was clamoring for that?
I don't know.
But
Whoopi?
As Paul says, someone is blowing bubbles in the Milky Way.
I'm glad you mentioned
that. Indeed, someone is blowing bubbles in the Milky Way, and that's the problem.
Just don't cry over spilt Milky Way.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't even believe we did that.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Future listeners, thanks for listening in the future or the past, whatever time it happens to be. And you guys got anything you want to mention before we go? Got anything coming up interesting?
kind of cool. Lenny Vernon, Badass Trucker, is a comic book that has been coming out for many years now, and they're on issue 10. It's in local comic book shops, so if you're in the Omaha or Lincoln area, you can pick up a comic that may have someone that looks like me in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's super interesting because
super interesting.
I'm not a trucker, but I am a busser, so super close.
So she can identify.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm also, tomorrow is my last day of school for like 5 weeks at least. So I have time to read that also.
Sweet.
I know.
Yeah, and I was trying to hurt. Yeah, I'm sorry. Melanie, you should go to bed right after we stop.
I will.
Real quick.
I'm going to do that
guys,
too.
Next week, what do we want to do? Because there's one episode before Christmas left, because Christmas Eve is the next Thursday after that, so I figure we're probably not streaming on Christmas Eve. Do we want to do like movies? I do have an idea for maybe we'll skip news. I do have an idea for a game, super original. I certainly never seen it on a YouTube video or heard other podcasters do it, so yeah, that'll be fun. But that probably won't take all that much time. Paul suggests Xmas horror. Do we want to continue the Monster of the Week for Christmas?
I'm totally down with doing some Christmas
we want to do
horror.
something totally different, or
Christmas. How about just Christmas?
Just Christmas is the theme.
So like Krampus and just anything, or
and Miracle on 34th Street, like because offing myself isn't,
Oh no, you're thinking.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life.
Yes.
Are you gonna watch that?
Yes, I will.
I'll watch it with you.
No, you get your own.
But
I'll throw a lasso around it and pull the moon down for you.
But I love that movie.
You'll do the voice for me, and then you'll watch your own movie. Thank you very much.
I love it. Buffalo Gals. Won't you come out tonight?
I know what that's from.
Gremlins is a Christmas movie, correct? I won't do Gremlins though, because we talked about it on Grawlix Cinematic Universe last year, I think.
Gremlins is literally the town that Christmas destroyed.
It's not a Christmas.
Sorry, what?
He's a Christmas gift.
Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
Gizmo is literally a gift from an absentee father who is also an inventor who steals it from a Chinese man and then destroys a town.
You want to argue Die Hard? That's fine. Even
it is not Christmas.
He's a Christmas gift.
No.
You want to argue Die Hard?
They dress up like Christmas carolers.
Even though Die Hard takes place at a Christmas party and there's Christmas music in the musical score of the movie, I'll give you that one.
They are both action movies. Neither is a Christmas movie.
Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Star Wars is not.
Star Wars is a Christmas movie. It is.
There's not a single carol.
Oh, yeah.
Not a gift.
Carol. You know what? All you need is a Christmas spirit.
There's not a Christmas. They don't even believe in Jesus in Star Wars.
They do believe in Obi-Wan, though.
They believe
the
in
Force. The Force is the Christmas spirit.
devil magic.
It feels forced.
Okay. Gremlins is a freaking Christmas movie. I don't.
It's
crazy to think
it's
it's
a Christmas movie.
Maybe
not.
Okay, so Christmas in general doesn't even have to be a horror movie. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy. Every Doctor Who Christmas special ever.
Either horror or at least a good movie. How's that?
You just want to watch a good movie.
I don't want to watch a crappy Christmas movie. That's all.
I get it.
Oh, Paul went with the Xmas, so you could go Xmas.
Paul's perpetrating
not on this show though.
The war
not on the Grawlix podcast.
The war on Xmas.
Ooh.
The war on Christmas. People are so dumb.
Man, we could have done X-Men movies for the Xmas.
Oh
yeah. That's a good idea.
Can I watch? I've seen them all so many times. Can I watch Logan again?
No, unless I can watch like Jurassic Park, because 2 Tyrannosauruses fighting behind a running saw blade counts as Christmas to me.
I don't even know which
one that is at all.
But I do appreciate that. Although that's Christmas.
Oh, now I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that meme, which is like the nativity scene, but if you look at it differently, it looks like two T-Rexes above a
oh, fighting to the death.
You sent me that meme. Okay, I get it now. I was so confused.
I was at first too. I was like, is that a Jurassic Park movie I didn't see?
Everybody that meme.
Dustin asks, didn't Goldberg make a Christmas horror film? He did. It's called Santa's Sleigh, SLAY. Looks ridiculous. I've never seen it. Maybe I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Santa's Sleigh.
Either that or I'll watch Scrooged again, because Scrooged is so good.
Are you awake still?
Me?
Yeah.
Barely.
I'm sure.
I have to get up at 4. Okay.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's go. We need to get off here. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Melanie, for spending
Thank
your
you.
day with us.
Thank you to those of you still in the chat and those of you who joined us at the beginning.
Yeah. You're the real Grawlickers.
You're the real reason for Christmas.
Grawlickers makes me think of the Stranger Things monster from season 1 for some reason.
Huh.
Because it's a liquor type thing. All right.
Seems so festive, though, doesn't it?
Stranger Things or the Grawlickers or the monster?
The monster.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, is it maybe just because the Christmas lights we're thinking about?
It's a good tree topper.
On that note,
could be.
bye everybody. Have a good week.